What's up, guys? His Taylor Guitars unleashed their woodiest sounding guitar on the marketplace. It's the new gold label 514E here at Empire Music and empiremusic.com. Taylor guitar buyers have been chasing this sound, I think, for a long time. Taylor might have just knocked it out of the park. Let's check it out. What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Empire Music, empiremusic.com in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You know we do full pro setups. You know we take your trades. Hit empiremusic.com and tell us about your trade-ins. And you know we only carry a few brands that we carry crazy deep, making sure we don't only get you a great guitar, but the right guitar. Trying out a new format for this video, so tell me if you like it. This is the brand new Summer 2025 Taylor 514E gold label. And it's a really inspiring guitar, and I think it represents something really new from Taylor. And it inspired me to try maybe a little bit different format here today. So we'll be playing through the guitar and doing kind of like the dynamic range and the mids of the guitar like I would typically do in the video, but I'm gonna show some more playing examples along the way to really highlight something that's special about this guitar. The gold label guitars, you know, were introduced earlier in this year at NAMM, and essentially this is the Super Auditorium. It's a little bit bigger auditorium body shape. And these guitars all have something unique in them. It's the V fan bracing, which makes the guitar open up and have a particular sonic impact in the design that definitely makes the guitar sound fuller, fatter, not as not as defined maybe, but definitely rounder sounding. And I've been selling Taylor guitars since 1994 before I could drive. That's like for a long time. And if I've heard anything from Taylor customers and customers that maybe aren't Taylor customers, is that they wish they were a little bit darker, bassier. The word I hear, bassier, and I'm going to kind of push back on that a little bit here. But I think the sound that people have been chasing shows specifically in this model. The new gold labels are launching right now is the 514 and the 714. So this is spruce and mahogany, and the 714 is spruce and rosewood, and kind of that whole collection of guitars right now at the time of this film fits between about $2,600 and about $3,000. So also a price range that Taylor kind of left behind and now comes in really strong at. I mean, they've got Grand Pacific, the 17 series, you know, Super Dreadnoughts. They've got these now in that price point, and are really compelling guitars. But this particular one stood out for me for a few reasons. This is a torrefied Sitka spruce top, mahogany back and sides. Taylor hasn't used mahogany with a spruce top in their line for like a really long time, which is absolutely bananas and something we've really been shouting at them about. I mean, it's a classic wood combination. It needs to be in the line. What's interesting about this particular guitar is it's got, you know, this ability to really highlight mahogany in a traditional way. If you are used to hearing mahogany Martin guitars or mahogany Gibson guitars, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a particular kind of like resonance and kind of like almost like a little bit of chug to them. You know, mahogany is equally voiced bass, mids, and trebles, but there is a certain percussive nature in maybe those more historic brands that Taylor has been able to deliver. And that's always been kind of like a sticking point, right? For the people that want to cross over and explore Taylor guitars from those brands, that they're fans of those brands, that's kind of been the dividing line we can't get past. And for Taylor buyers that have been wanting a Taylor experience feel-wise and a Taylor experience sound-wise and just haven't been able to achieve it, I think we've got it. So let's start off right away. I really want to play through some times where we can hear kind of that, just the woodiness and the bass response to the guitar. The bass is super percussive, and I think that's kind of like the first thing I want to highlight that I think separates this guitar out from almost any Taylor that I know. And it's not only the bass response it's the warmth, because we say we always want bassy, right? And I think bass can mean anything. The roundness and the fatness of it is the warmth, and that woodiness is here. So let's just check it out in kind of like a just a C and G back and forth, so you can really hear that kind of chunkiness to it, right? You can hear it right away. It's like the bass is very powerful. It's got that percussive nature to it. I think when we talk about a lot of Taylor guitars, like a builder's edition guitar, they stay hyper defined. The notes are hyper defined and in their own lanes, so they tend to stay more narrow. Whereas I feel like these notes have a little bit more bleed to them. So maybe not as defined as a builder's edition guitar, but it still offers Taylor's definition. It doesn't get as soupy as some others, so it's a really good sweet spot for them. But it definitely has that chunkiness, where if I'm thinking of like Americana music, or if I'm thinking of singer-songwriter music, country music, you're used to that nature of that bass being very dominant in its presence. It's really, really there. And since Taylor still keeps your note definition, when you're playing through like individual note stuff or like fingerstyle, you'll hear that separation while still getting the effect of that woodiness. You have that bass, you have the note, the top end, and the top end's got that roundness again to it. It's not so shrill. So when we play through, we have that body that doesn't typically exist. You get the projection of via class, you get the projection of a baked torrefied top that gives you a more kind of immediate response. And I think that's a big advantage of the guitar, because you don't lose Taylor's essence. I think this has always been the kind of the trick for Taylor guitars as a whole, right? If you are a brand and you're known for something, right? You're known for the feel of the guitar, you're known for a certain sonic profile. How do you meet market demands, what people are asking you to do, while still staying true to yourself? Because otherwise they just build a knockoff of another brand, right? Which almost everybody else has done, right? Basically everything comes off of a Martin platform for the most part. So Taylor wanted to keep that, so they kept the definition, but they've opened up that woodiness, and I think you can hear it just all throughout the guitar. You know, it doesn't, if I was blindfolded in a room, when I first played it, I wouldn't have thought it was a Taylor guitar. You know what I mean? It's just like I would have thought it was definitely something else. While I thought it sounds really special. I'm really excited about this guitar, and it's cool that it's not a $5,000 instrument. It's obviously not inexpensive, but you know, it's like you have this ability to really play a really, I think, a classic sounding guitar with Taylor's built-in sonic definition. It's just ingrained in them, is the kind of the word I was looking for. So you have that definition still, but you're getting the woodiness, and they keep the play intact with their neck. And this has actually action control neck on it, which even has more ability to adjust the neck angle. So you can actually adjust your neck to your playing profile and how low you want the strings to be on the fly with a basic tool. We do them here, and we always tell people go to a tech before you just start hammering away at your guitar with start twisting and turning. But it's a very simple process that if you're like, hey, I'm gonna play a fingerstyle gig tonight, cool, I want the action really low, or I'm gonna be hammering tonight, I want to actually bring that action up a little bit. You can adjust the angle in which the neck sits, which is not your relief in your neck. It's actually the tilt of the neck, and that's what always made Taylor special, is that the NT neck joint gives you the ability kind of to adjust the angle of the neck, but it was with the shim system before, which is not something you can do on the fly, a little bit more complicated. So here we can do it in real time, which is really exciting. They outfitted it with an LR Baggs VTC pickup, so now we have an LR Baggs pickup in it, which expression system, you like it, you don't. What their understanding is that it's just like there isn't a right answer to that. There's a lot of people that love the expression system. An LR Baggs, you plug it in, you know what it is, right? You can go play an LR Baggs in any system in the world, and it's going to sound like you expect it to sound like, which is a big advantage. Where I think the expression system sometimes takes a little bit of manipulating in different venues to get it where you want to go. Just depends on the player. So very comfortable there. You have an ebony fingerboard and bridge. You have the Honduran rosewood bridge, which Andy Powers really likes because it's a little more dense rosewood, so you get the warmth, but you get that kind of like the density creates that woodiness. You know what I mean? And the trick is keeping that hardwood from sounding brittle, and that's really where the V fan bracing comes in. And I know we have pictures embedded in here. You can see it's a lot different. Whereas the V before really stiffened that top to bottom and kind of let it rock. Here, this fan is gonna let the guitar breathe a little bit more, view more bottom end. And I guess this was the last kind of like interesting point is when people tell me that oftentimes that they want a bassy guitar, what they really mean is a warm guitar. And I always want to help people get the right guitar so their experience is correct, right? If you want a bassy guitar, you buy the rosewood model, right? The rosewood model is gonna have more bass than this guitar. It's gonna have exaggerated bass, but with that bass, you have reduced mids, and then you also have accelerated treble response. So you get a punchier boom on the bottom, subdued, glassy sparkle. Whereas mahogany, you're gonna have equal bass, mids, and treble. And bass, mids, and treble, those frequencies are measurable, right? We can agree that if something is more bassy, it has a higher bass response than another item. That's kind of like, it's an undeniable fact, right? You know, it's like if it has X amount of hertz versus less hertz or more, then we can agree that it's less or more. Whereas warm is subjective, right? A lot of times people play rosewood guitars and go, oh, it's kind of bright. Well, that's that top end sparkle that you're talking about, right? Bass is not warm. Warm is the total sonic experience of the guitar. And here through here, it's got a very round experience that you can, it's lush, you know what I mean? So I think when you reach out to us, or if you know, we'll eventually do the 714 video too, you know, you're gonna hear the differences there, and there's not right or wrong. I mean, rosewood's the most popular for sure, but I think this guitar will fit. A lot of players have been looking for that woody experience because mahogany is more woody than rosewood, and you know, the Super Auditorium is slightly bigger. It gives you a little bit more boom and fullness overall, and it makes the guitar really powerful with the torrefied top, the V-fan bracing, the slightly bigger body, that you can get that big dynamic range. So I'm gonna do an abbreviated version of the dynamic range in the mids of the guitar, because I still always want to highlight those, because to me, ultimately at the end of the day, I want to know what a guitar sounds like when it's quiet and loud, so I kind of know its abilities to play in those different types of styles. And then is the guitar voiced so I can enjoy the middle of the guitar? And like Taylor guitars are really good at the mids. It's almost redundant to do. But let's go ahead and just do the kind of dynamic range in the mids so you can hear those and compare it to maybe other videos that we've done here. So let's check it out. During the strumming part, two things leapt out at me. You get an amazing amount of tone with no work. The guitar is extremely boisterous with light touch. Also, I hope you heard kind of like that woodiness and that percussiveness when we're strumming those C and G chords. I mean, it's just really, really there. Mids guitars are beautiful and full and warm, round, but still plenty of clarity there for you. What's cool about this guitar is even when I was strumming, it's like you could hear the individual notes coming through strumming. You don't lose that clarity, and it sounds just really, really, I mean, you just feel like this is an older guitar. And it's just like, if that has been something you've been searching with Taylor, out of all the gold label guitars, I love the 17 gold labels, and they're really good. It's a deep body dreadnought, it should be big and full, and it's like so I wasn't surprised that delivered so well. Here, this one kind of caught my ear a little bit, because if I could have bottled the sound and just sent it in a letter to Taylor, it says, put it in the ocean and got it to California and said, hey, this is what I think my customers have been asking me for 30 years. I think this is what it is. This sonic profile, whether you want it in the rosewood or the mahogany. I think the mahogany has a specific woodiness to it that you hear even on the top notes. You can still got that percussive nature to it that definitely, if you do this on an 814 Builder's Edition, it's going to sound stiffer. You know what I mean? Now, the 814 Builder's Edition, what it's going to be perfect for is just the perfect one's super high definition note separation, which it's phenomenal at. But it's just like, I think both clearly have we need in the line. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. The Builder's Edition guitars just sound so good and feel with the armrest and all that stuff is so cool, and it performs so uniquely to the market, and is obviously extremely popular. So it doesn't make those guitars unnecessary. I think what it does is you basically get, to me, this is the most I've understood gold label and its kind of intention, because I guess the initial company line from Taylor was that if Taylor guitars was built in the 30s and 40s, this is what we've been building, right? And that's cool. Then you make this big dreadnought, and it's obviously big and full sounding. Well, yeah, I get that, because that's just the physical nature of it, is the structure of it is so big, right? But Taylor Guitars is known for Grand Auditoriums. That's like, at the end of the day, Grand Auditorium guitar is Taylor's flagship. So a super auditorium delivering this sound to me is now, to me, the very clear, they planted a flag. They're saying this is what gold label is. Now I think all of us should really understand the direction of where the gold label part of the line is, because legacy guitars exist, right? You can still get a classic 810, which sounds amazing, that Bob designed. You can get a Builder's Edition guitar, which is, like, again, more to me of a person wants an elite feel, an elite note separation, elite clarity, a phenomenal high definition experience. And for the person that wants a Taylor sonic ability of staying still clean and offering plenty of note separation while still getting that missing piece of the woodiness, I think this is it. I think they've absolutely killed it. And we're really, really excited about these guitars. And we're also excited that they're priced to market in line with the classic models of those other bands. So D18s and J45s, we're in D28s and all that stuff. We're in that neighborhood here with Taylor, whereas for a while, the Taylor price point had kind of shifted out of the under $3,000 option. Now we're there. You know what I mean? So it's like, so if you want that Taylor experience, there's not a tax on it to get it. You can really get it right here. It's the Taylor Gold Label 514E. It comes in a handful of finished variations, which we have all on the site. As I said earlier, we do full pro setups. We dial every guitar in to the low end of the factory spec. You can really, really dial these in. But I always say, if you took an artist and hand them this guitar at the factory, how would Bob Taylor or Andy Powers set it up for them? That's how we're sending it out to you. We always want your trade-ins. There's a trade-in portal on the site, and we're really going to make sure to get you the right guitar. We are working really, really hard to make sure that the guitar expectations, what it does is what you expect it to do. So we get you into the right spot, and we're just not selling you any guitar. I think if you buy any guitar from us, we're really proud of selling that particular guitar. We'll make sure it's the great fit for you. So check out empiremusic.com. You can chat with us on the site. You can find the exact serial numbers of the guitars that are on there, see the photos, reach out to us. We're here at 412-343-5299. Myself, Justin, Jordan, Anthony, Dominic. Like, we've worked really hard to make sure that we're available to you all different ways, through chat, through email, whatever it works for you. But we wanted you to get one of these new gold labels. Hit us up. It's the new gold label 514E at Empire Music and empiremusic.com. Thanks for watching.